All right, peace to the family. How we feeling, man? Blessed to you all. Y'all can hear the music in the background? Yeah, man, I'm here vibing. What's happening with the family? Blessings. So I had some time throughout my day, man. I've been blogging a little bit for my day from when I woke up this morning. I got a workout in. And then I had to meet up with the team. And then we had to have a meeting. And we was really going over, a lot of media stuff. We have a lot that we building out with this community that we building for the fam. And we was really trying to figure out, how do we make this the best thing possible for everybody? So it's a lot of things that we've been identifying as far as what we believe is going to work the best. At the beginning, when you got you a team, a lot of this stuff is all about managing, right? I think one of the hardest things I had to ask myself today, I'm like, and it's funny, something came to mind to ask myself, is it harder to train a human or is it harder to train a machine, right? And there's vast similarities between both. And so, of course, it's probably easier to train a machine because a machine can only take the instructions you give them. They can't process it a different way. And then your goal is to become better and better at prompting machine based on the way it works. But I think we make so many assumptions on human beings that we don't make with machines. We know that if I'm speaking to a machine or an AI, right, that it has to be dealt with in this particular manner. There's no emotions at all dealing with it. I know how it's made. I know how the interface is, how I got to interact with it, right? And I understand when it's getting better based on its responses. With human beings, I think we leave so many things up to assumptions that we may say something to somebody and we assume that they understood without getting proof until we go then see their results and we like, this not it, and therefore we get frustrated. But if it was a machine, you would not blame the person, you would then blame yourself. Oh, you wouldn't blame the machine, you would blame yourself because you would be like, maybe my instructions or my prompt wasn't good enough. Because the machine can only get the output based on its user. And so if you really understood the way that operated when it comes to managing people, right, and leadership, then you would always take accountability for your actions, right, and what you bring out on other people. And if you focus on growth as a leader and you got better, right, then the people around you would get better, right? And then there's, factors that go into it. It's just that when it comes to people, you have to do a lot more. You have to motivate people. You have to inspire people, right? It's different with a machine. With a machine, your goal is to not inspire a machine, is to not motivate them. So the emotional factor completely disappears. The spiritual factor disappears. The soul factor disappears. And now you're dealing with focus on, right, building a brain, building a mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's been an interesting thought process for me, right, that I wanted to share with you all as I've been going through my day. That was my thought process because I was about to make these signs that's called, because people don't realize it, right? I was about to make this signs and the sign was going to be AI is hiring, right? And what it was going to do is it's going to play on people's fears, right? And really get them to understand the time-sensitive nature that we have when it comes to the time that we living in. You feel me? If you've seen a sign that says AI is hiring, how would that make you feel? Give me right now your interpretation of that, right? There's a sign that says AI is hiring, right? And what people don't realize is that soon enough, this will be it. This is going to be the reality, and depending on how much that they paying for, people go take the job, right? And right now, people work jobs that they don't want to. But I think the whole, it's like a thought experiment, and some people are saying that they'd be upset, right? Some people would be angry. But let's dial it back for a second. Why would you be angry? I want to know. I genuinely want to know, why would you be angry? Why would you be angry? Why would you be sad? Right? Because let's think about it. When we go to companies and we go to brands, right? We go to companies and we go to brands. Let's say you see a McDonald's hiring, you see a Samsung hiring, you see an Apple hiring, right? Is it that you respect the person, or do you respect the brand? Right? Because most of these places you go to, you don't know who the owner is. You know nothing about the CEO. You don't know what they spend their money on. You don't know about their education. You don't know about their values, their soul, their spirit whatsoever. So you're not being hired by humans. You're being hired by brands. And people go to jobs because of brands. It's rarely because they want to work for a person that's different. So most of the time we're making decisions, artificial decisions, because our brains have been trained to see a brand, right, in a high light. So instead of the guy, I don't know, somebody's name could be Ruben Schmeinberg is hiring, all right? That's somebody you have zero connection to. You don't know what their soul like. You don't know who they are, right? You particularly probably don't care. So would you be happy and elated to work for this person if you've seen it? Most likely no. And this is why I teach people, like, you got to focus on creating a personal brand, right? Because then it establishes a connection with people and a feeling, right? And it's very important. So for me, that's the same as me seeing AI as hiring. But we don't realize that our brains have been tricked so much. We don't realize that our brains are being tricked so much to create these false connections, right, to these brands, and they've been hacked. And this is that part of your brain, right, that is the non-thinking brain, right? It's the part of your brain that's really the subconscious, right? And it's symbols that you're being sold. So AI is just a symbol, right? Most of our lives we live, right, is based on these symbols that control the way that we operate and the decisions that we make. And most of the decisions that we make, and I need y'all to really understand this, right? I had to really did a lot of digging to understand, like, how does the human brain work? I've studied a lot of different things before arriving to understanding that, and it seems like it's a simple fact, but you really have to understand the deeper meaning that goes into it. Most people make decisions completely based on status. Now, arriving to the point of conclusion to get people to feel that there's going to be a status connected to it, right? Arriving to that point that's going to make people feel like there's a status connected to it. Now, that's a different science. Master 13 said you had to block somebody. Listen, I block people all the time, because I realize that this internet is full of people who have mental issues. The internet is full of people who want to pardon off their insecurities on you. You feel me? The internet is just full of people who want to blame you for their shortcomings. The internet is full of people who just want to control you. That's all it is. And I tell everybody, if you have superior knowledge, focus on demonstration. That's all you got to do. If you have superior knowledge, all you have to do is focus on demonstration. That's it. Funny enough, I was supposed to do I had two interviews lined up from people of the Moorish community. For both of those interviews, they didn't show up for whatever reason or not. I don't think it was malicious whatsoever. They just didn't show up. Right? And so we got to reschedule, and I feel like Allah be planning sometime when it come to high level conversations. He be letting me know that sometimes, don't be so hasty to do things. Take your time, right? See, I got this show called High Level Conversations, and the thing about this show is everything that we do on this show directly comes from our budget. Right? It comes from the time that we put in. Let me show y'all, right? I'm in the shop right now, the headquarters. Right? We calling it the headquarters right now. So as you can see, there's the hats. I was sitting next to the hats. You feel me? You see the crowns and things of that nature. You feel me? You see the equipment that's here. Like that equipment, all that equipment costs, all that stuff costs. Y'all seeing everything, you feel me? All that stuff costs. So when people have these expectations of me and my team, you feel me? I take it with a grain of salt because ain't nobody gonna handle our costs. And if we don't run this media company, y'all gotta understand, I've been doing this now, high level conversations. We about to be going on year 3 soon. I haven't had one single entity reach out and try to help fund anything, try to help sponsor anything, none of that. So what that let me know that we get to completely focus on, right, doing things our way, because ain't nobody gonna help us do this. So we have to figure out exactly how to keep this thing funded, how to keep it operational, and how to make sure things go at a high level. I think most people assume that just put on anybody on the show, right? And then it's going to go. Like, no, each episode has to be meticulously laid out. And there's a function and a format that goes with media. And the laziness of people and their expectations and their privileges, right, is the fact that everybody thinks that, they somehow are owed something that they're not. And all you got to do is think about what does it require for you to build this thing yourself. I got a whole YouTube channel that we don't even monetize because they took away our monetization because we were posting things from High Level Conversation page that's originally on EYL page and posting on my personal. And they thought we was copying from ourselves. So it's been demonetized for months, but we didn't stop none of our shows from going. We didn't stop none of the content because it ain't about money. It's about the impact. You feel me? So most people would have stopped it because they only doing it for the money. That's the difference about us over here. Like anything I talk about, it's things that I'm passionate about. Then there's the business side of things, right? The business side of it is that you can't functionally run a media company without getting advertisements, right? You can't functionally run a media company without getting sponsors and getting funding. So for us to be able to do it ourselves, without a single sponsor, without a single ounce of funding from anywhere, right? It is a very meticulous thing that we have to do, and we have to operate based on the science. And I'm always having these conversations with the team to remind them of that. Like, we can't just expect these things to just, go viral or something. Like, no, we got to approach each and every one like it's a movie, right? We have to lay out a plan for it. We have to lay out the marketing. We have to do every single thing, all of the editing, everything goes into it. This is not just, we just drop it and we just get lucky. It don't work like that, right? So when people come to me, right, with this privilege that they can just automatically be on the show because for whatever reason they alive and they feel like because I built me a platform that they deserve to be on it, right? This is the dangerous thing when we start getting that crab in the bucket, the crab in the barrel mentality. You feel me? We start competing with each other, and the moment you see anybody with any relative success, you want to pull them down and pull them apart. And we get happy pulling each other apart, right? Because the attitude that we have towards each other is a hateful one. See, anytime you become successful, you get a fan club, and your fan club is full of people who love you and people who hate you. And people who hate you don't realize they're part of your fan club, but it's the same thing. And that's why you have to be careful when it comes to fanfare, right? So I understand that it's like I'm pretty active in my imagination. So I was thinking, like, imagine you just walk down the street, right? And you open the door to this building, and you go in the building and they having a whole meeting about you. They got your pictures up blasting on the wall. They got your content playing in the background. And the whole meeting is just to talk about how much they don't like you. The whole meeting is just to bring people there to talk about this guy doesn't do this. This guy don't speak about this. This guy not cool. I don't like them, man. And then everybody in the audience like, yeah, we don't fuck with them. And it's like, y'all really took day out of your afternoon, out of your evening, out of your morning to all come here and convene and talk about things that you don't like. And these are grown adults. And somehow it makes them feel better about the things that they lack in their own life by blaming others. Well, this is the same thing that I think about with social media. When I go on people's pages or I go look at content that people just come up and make up things, right? It's just the fan club that hate you. And then you got the fan club that love you, and those are the people that support you, right? It's different. So when you got somebody, it's like you on fire and somebody fanning the fire so that you stay on fire in the sense that you burn up. And the other people, they fanning it, you feel me, so that you stay on fire in the sense that you keep growing. It's two people doing the same thing, right, for different reasons. So if we didn't understand that 2000 in this era that we in, it's a very toxic era, like this year, and I can understand why. I study the signs and the symbols, and I understand why. That Nuri episode dropping this Sunday. I study the signs and the symbols, right? You can study the cosmos, right? No, I'm not talking about the Moors. Stop it. I'm not talking about the Moors. I actually was about to get on a call with one of my Moorish brothers. Got to talk to him about some things. I got a lot of solid Moorish brothers. You feel me? That's my brothers. You feel me? I'm talking about haters. Don't conflate the two. I'm talking about the way that social media operates. I'm talking about the internet. And this goes into so many different categories. You wouldn't believe it, right? So this is why I don't take things personal, because, you know, it can be somebody making up something or mad at you about something, don't know you and don't care. And then I got my little brother calling me from jail. You feel me? And this is real life. And I'm focused on, I want to get him out, you feel me, get his mind right, because he in there reading and trying to get himself together, and he sounds sober and he sound right, and he going to be prime and ready to get back in the ranks. Then I got an older brother that's in prison. You feel me? That's real life for me. That's real life for me. So the things on social media land, those are not the things that bother me. I got real life that we deal with. I got real family and real issues that happen in the real world. So the imaginary fan club, you know what I mean, that hate, those are not the people that bother me. You feel me? It's about real things that we all deal with and the real things that we all face. You feel me? Like, I went out to Oakland to go speak to, shout out to Mr. Fab. I went out to Oakland to go speak to the black men for the mental health thing. And it's like, bro, black men be going through it. Be going through it. You feel me? And I understand the position that I'm in and what I mean to a lot of different people. You feel me? And so that's why I'm glad, like, at this point in life, I believe I was saying this yesterday, like, all the bullshit is behind me. You feel me? I've healed so much in the last year or two, just being super intentional about, like, myself and my position. So that, you know, moving forward, the goal is to just focus on creating more leaders. This phase of life that I'm in is no longer about myself per se. At first it was about building up this platform. Now it's about how do we create more leaders, right? Not influencers, leaders. You feel me? Leaders have influence. And my whole thing with people that follow me, I don't need anybody to. So if you have a disagreement, you don't like something I follow, you don't like the symbols on my hat, you know what I mean? You don't like the things that I talk about, unsubscribe. That's all. Just unsubscribe and disappear. There's a whole side of the internet with, like, right wing and left wing and politics and, like, races and all sort of different people. I'm not about to go on their page and get mad at them for what they talk about in their life. Honestly, it ain't none of my business. You feel me? I don't even want to know. That side of the universe, stay over there. You feel me? But for me to go over there and go intentionally look for the things that I dislike and then go into comments and pages and bombard them, right, with complaints would make me crazy. But I also realized that on social media, you have these avatars that everybody got. Everybody got their names, their usernames. Then you got a little picture up there that represents who you are. But nobody really knows who you are. I don't know if you crazy. You just took some fucking medicine because the doctors really said you bipolar. So one day you cool and next time you tripping. And I gotta remember this because you are on social media with the world. These are people, right, that are drug users, abusers, right? These are people that have mental issues. These are people, some that are very low in IQ, right? These are people that go through all sort of traumas, and then you just give everybody, and there's no way that you can tell who's who besides when they do something that's crazy and they may have an episode. But we all in this space together as if we all have the same level of sanity and the same level of IQ. And that's just not the reality of it. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to my brother Daylight. So that's why when I be sitting back, I don't take things personal. I understand it's like everybody being in the same classroom at different IQ levels. I don't know if you fucking lost your mind before and I'm talking to you like you're a regular person, because what happened is that we take the attributes that we have. Shout out to my brother Cootie in the building. We take the attributes that we have and we automatically assume that onto others, right? So I'm going to assume that you my level of sane, right? I might assume that you might be my level of intelligence, right? The way that I deduct things, the way that I go about seeing things, viewing things, right? Deduce things. That becomes your assumption. It's like everybody starting with an A until you realize these are fucking F students. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to remind yourself, like, don't do that. Don't put that on people, because you create disappointment, right? By positioning these expectations. And we on the internet full of crazy. Some people got nothing but all time on their hands. 24 hours around the clock to just be on social media and look for the things that they hate. And so you got to be careful about the fanfare, because your fan club is full of people who hate you and people who love you, right? And if you got a good fan club, hopefully, right, the people who love you outweighs the people who hate you. But the problem is the people who hate you don't want peace. So what they're going to do is be the loud ones in the room, and then they disturb the peace. So you can't allow those people to disturb your peace. So for me, when I see things, man, I got a very stoic, right, mindset towards things and perspective towards things. I just keep it moving, because in real life, we deal with real things. And the social media land is a land of false imagery and manipulation and scripts. You feel me? Is where a person tries to become anything that they want to be, and a person can say just about anything, and a person can go viral, but what does that actually mean about who that person actually is? Just about nothing. Just because you went viral, does that mean that you special? Because people listen to you, or because you created a rumor or something? It has nothing to do with your actual character, your value to society, right? Your contribution to society, your significance, your growth. You know what I'm saying? Your ability to cooperate and add value to others. It ain't got nothing to do with that.